Legend is one of the craziest wind coasters ever built, and it's located in the same park as Voyage. When I ride Voyage, I feel like I conquered something. When you ride Legend, you feel like you survived something. And I don't say that because it's rough. Several years back, GCI actually came in and did a full retrack on it. And while it still has the bite, I mean, it still feels like a wind coaster. The reason I say it feels like you survived something is because this layout is so jam-packed with crazy elements. This ride is like a bucking bronco. It is relentless. I said this in the Raven review, but it's actually unfair that Holiday World has Voyage, Legend, and Raven all in the same park, because all three of them are crazy. But this is going to be my full review of Legend, the other CCI wind roller coaster at Holiday World. There's a lot to discuss, so let's get into it. This is the second wind coaster located in the Halloween section of the park. While Raven is themed to Edgar Allan Poe's famous poem, Legend is themed to the Headless Horseman. It's a very loose theme. They gave it a stylized look in the station. You hear some fun audio of them saying, "Don't look back," as you dispatch, and then when you reach the top of the lift, you hear a wolf howling, and that comes right before you drop. That's about the extent of the theming, which is fine. The ride more than makes up for it. So let's dive into this ride experience. When you exit the station, you turn to the right and start up your 99-foot tall lift hill. And like Raven, Legend has a drop that is bigger than its height. This one, however, is a lot more substantial than Raven's difference. This is about a 14-foot change. The ride drops you 113 feet down. And it's really because this ride is not situated on flat ground. The same goes for Voyage, you just don't really notice it because of how it is structured. So when you crest off the chain, you do a very slight dip and turn to the right. And this is the calmest point of the ride. I mean, as soon as you go over this drop, you're in for a crazy experience. With a lot of rides, the drop is like the best part. With Legend, no. This is just to build up some speed. In my opinion, the best part of Legend is the pacing. Legend's drop actually turns to the left. So in that regard, it actually feels like a drop you'd find on like a GCI. But the rest of the ride does not feel like a GCI at all. Right as you're building up some speed, you pass straight into a tunnel. This is not the only tunnel that you'll be passing through on Legend. There's actually quite a few that you'll be going to, or most are towards the end of the ride. And that's really because the first half of Legend runs up against the back side of Splash and Safari. So one of the best views you can get of the ride is when you're going up the slide towers. You can see the coaster going all around you. Legend really takes up a dense amount of space. It starts off as an out and back, and then towards the end of the ride, it just kind of goes crazy. Like Raven, Legend is full of more lateral forces as opposed to negative forces, so there's not too many airtime moments on Legend. Legend is really the king of laterals. You slam left and right at just about every single moment, especially at the end of the ride. We'll get to that in a second. Legend rises up, turns slightly to the right, dives under one of their slide complexes, and then passes up into what is likely the second highest point of the ride. It's kind of the straightaway section right before you do your turnaround. You're actually pretty high up there, and you curve to the right into what kind of feels like another first drop. You build up some serious momentum after you're coming off of this hill. Once again, you pass under one of your slides and rise up into what is pretty much the only airtime moment on the ride. It's not anything too crazy. I mean, if you want airtime, really go ride Voyage. But pretty much after this moment, the out and back portion of Legend's layout is over. You head into your second tunnel, and when you emerge from here, this is when the ride starts to go crazy. You bank to the left and then enter the 540-degree helix. This is one giant helix that passes through two different tunnels, banking continuously to the right, so therefore you're getting thrown to the left, and it is so forceful. When the ride is running fast, this is by far the craziest moment on the ride. It's probably the single greatest moment on any roller coaster when it comes to laterals. That's the moment on Legend that really is like, oh my gosh, this thing is trying to kill me. And what's funny is most coasters have the helix at the end of the ride, but Legend still has quite a bit after this. When you come out of there, you bank to the left, pass under the lift hill, go into one last tunnel, and then two more turns, and that's what goes in breakaway. And that final stretch is pretty fast. It's actually a pretty similar ending to what Raven has. The main difference here is this one actually passes over another ride. This goes right over Frightful Falls, which is their log flume. So that makes for a great little interaction. And that's your ride experience. Now, like Raven, Legend is a lot crazier at night. When it's the end of the day and the ride is running fast, this ride really takes your breath away. My personal favorite experiences that I've had on Legend Legend were when I rode it with a cup of water. You can really only do this at Hollywood Nights, where they do what is called the Legend Water Cup Challenge. You get with 3 others, so there's 4 of you in your car. That's your team. You each have a cup of water, and you ride Legend with it. Whoever's team has the most water left over after the coaster wins. It is very easy to lose all of your water on this coaster. I mean, there's tons of different strategies. If you do this, be prepared to come off Legend soaked. Not necessarily because of you losing your water, but let's say you're in the back of the train and then the people in front of you lose their water, let's say going down the first drop. All that water is going to fly back at you and just get you soaked. It's crazy. So for that reason, I love this coaster because I don't know of any other ride where you can really experience something like that. It's also one of the reasons why I tried to exclusively ride this coaster during Hollywood Nights, so I can get it at night when it is running the fastest and also do it with a cup of water. So for Legend's final score, I mean, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I personally really like it. Now, I know this coaster's not for everyone. There are some people that passionately think that Legend should be RMC'd. I do not think this would make a good RMC. Because of the way the layout is designed, I think it's great the way it is. It does not need to be transformed. If Holiday World were to get an RMC, it should 100% be a ground-up creation. But they definitely should not get that as their next coaster. They need a family coaster badly. I know this ride is not for everyone. I mean, if you're not big into laterals, you're probably going to hate Legend. You're probably more of a fan of like GCI coasters where they actually bank on the turns, so you kind of lean into them as opposed to the ride just chucking you to the side. So I totally understand it if this ride is not for you. I have friends who this is like their favorite ride ever, but also I know people that this ride is not one of their favorites, and that's fine. Is it one of my favorite wind coasters ever? No, I don't think so, but it is a very solid ride. I always look forward to doing it. It's definitely one of the many reasons why you should go visit Holiday World. So that's gonna do it for this review. Let me know down in the comments below if you think I missed anything, if you agree with my thoughts, and of course make sure to stay tuned for more coaster reviews here at Coaster Studios, and I'll see you next time.